Residents seek swift government intervention over Akure Road's pothole on completed projects. FG rules out borrowing as Nigeria meets 2025 revenue targets. President Tinubu hints on creation of state police for improved regional security. And from the foreign scene, Sudan appeals for international aid as landslide kills over 1,000. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Odunayo Sawyer, and we begin tonight's bulletin from Ondo State, where some parts of the capital, Akure, are grappling with worsening road conditions as potholes spread across major routes. While some areas have received government attention in recent times, places like the bypass, Oshinle, Ijoka, and several others still cry for urgent intervention. Our correspondent, Ayoluwa Tomiwa Adetunji, has details.
Driving through some parts of Akure, the Ondo State capital, has become a nightmare for many residents. What should ordinarily be smooth journeys are now marked by frequent stops, bumps, and swerves as motorists struggle to navigate deep potholes dotting the roads. From the busy bypass to Oshinle and several other parts of the city, these roads have become traps, slowing movement, damaging vehicles, and in many cases causing accidents. For many business owners, it is the same tale of frustration. Many complain that the poor state of the roads is affecting customer flow, delaying deliveries, and ultimately reducing their daily income.
I know, and everybody knows that our governor is working every day. So, but then we want to plead to him, we want to beg him that they should help us to repair our road. As you can see now, when we went to buy something in the market, the taxi drivers, they refuse to carry us down here due to the situation of our road, and it's affecting our various businesses.
Kò sígbà tá a bá ti fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbà míì a máa ṣe máa yà fún àwọn ọlọ́kadà a máa yà fáwọn onímọ́tò díẹ̀ ìgbà míì mọ́tò àkọlù ẹlòmíì ọ̀kadà àkọlù ẹlòmíì tìtorí àwọn ọ̀nà wọ̀nyí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni nígbà tí ọ̀nà bá ti dáa tí a bá ti ń kọjá bẹ̀ tí mọ́tò bá ń kọjá tàmí sí èèyàn lára bí ọlọ́kadà bí oníkadà bá ń kọjá tàmí sí èèyàn lára so wàá tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣépè fáwọn ọlọ́kadà wọ́n á máa ṣépè fáwọn onímọ́tò because tọ́nà bá dáa kò sí nǹkan tí ó jẹ́ kí mọ́tò máa rìn gẹ́gẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan máa free at least tí ọ̀nà bá dẹ̀ dáa iṣẹ́ wa náà máa lọ síwájú ọkàn wa máa balẹ̀.
Beyond economic losses, safety is also at stake. Motorists swerve dangerously to avoid potholes, increasing the risk of head-on collisions. Pedestrians too are not spared as they struggle to cross flood-filled craters whenever it rains. Although some parts of Akure have witnessed recent rehabilitation, residents of Bypass, Oshinle, and adjoining areas say they are yet to feel such government presence. They insist that urgent attention is needed to avert further losses.
As I'm looking at it now, you can claim life, but there is no person, either a rightful person or not rightful person. If I'm driving now, I cannot say what I'm driving, I will just put myself inside the pothole. I'll have to dodge it. And when of dodging it, the bike might be coming and the student might be coming. And if I look at this one, this is St. Louis Grammar School. This is another office here. Anybody can be passing. If you're not careful, by dodging this pothole now, it can hit. So they are the better for the government now to do the right thing.
From the bypass to Oshinle and across many parts of Akure, the cry remains the same as residents want better roads. Until then, the potholes remain an everyday struggle. Ayoluwa Tomiwa Adetunji, Osrc News.
And meanwhile, on the national scene, the Federal Ministry of Works has announced urgent intervention on the damaged deck of the Benin-bound section of the Shagamu-Benin carriageway, assuring road users of a swift and lasting solution. The ministry, in a statement, said its monitoring team is actively following up on repairs and has dispatched engineers to the site. According to the ministry, the affected bridge, which has a double carriageway, suffered a visible puncture on the Benin-bound side within one of its 5 spans. The ministry attributed the damage to age-related deterioration, noting that the Shagamu-Benin bridge was constructed in 1981. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention (SCDC) has released its Lassa fever situation report for week 34, confirming 3 new cases in Ondo and Edo states. According to the report, the cumulative total for 2025 has risen to 857 confirmed cases and 160 deaths, with a case fatality rate of 18.7%. This marks an increase compared to the 17.1% CFR recorded during the same period in 2024. NCDC noted that 90% of the confirmed cases originated from Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi states. It added that both suspected and confirmed cases of Lassa fever have shown a downward trend compared to the same period in 2024. President Bola Tinubu has directed the compulsory implementation of health insurance across all ministries, departments, and agencies in line with the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) Act 2022. According to a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Nonuga, the president instructed the secretary to the government of the federation to issue a service-wide circular mandating compliance. The directive covers 5 key areas, including the compulsory enrollment of all MDA employees under the NHIA Health Insurance Plan. The NHIA has been tasked to develop a digital platform for real-time verification of certificates to ensure transparency, while MDAs are to establish internal processes for authentication and monitoring of compliance. The Nigerian Copyright Commission (NCC) has shut down several bookshops in Ondo State capital Akure over allegations of selling pirated and unapproved textbooks ahead of the new academic session. Among the affected stores are Arowolo Noble Bookshop and Dame's New Era Bookshop, which reportedly violated government policies by distributing unauthorized books to students. That these bookshop owners breached established regulations, prompting the NCC to seal their premises. The National Examinations Council (NECO) has announced a reduction in the number of objective questions for the English language 3 in the Senior Secondary Certificate Examination Internal. In an official notification made available by the State Coordinator for Osrc State, Sunday Bolaji, stated that the new paper structure includes 6 sections. The statement said effective from the 2026 SSCE internal exams, the total number of questions will be reduced from 100 to 80, while the time allocated for paper 3 examination process and enhance the testing experience for students. NECO had earlier confirmed it will fully transition from the traditional paper and pencil examination method to a computer-based testing system. Statement July 2025 directive to deploy private and public CBT centers nationwide for school-based SSC by 2026. President Bola Tinubu has declared that his government has met its revenue generation target for year 2025 through non-oil sector in August. Tinubu made this known while playing host to members of the Buhari Organization (TBO) led by former governor of Nasarawa State, Tanko Almakura, at the State House Abuja. The president promised to remain focused on Nigeria's progress despite external pressures, including actions from U.S. President Donald Trump. President Tinubu, who assured that his administration remains committed on reforms that will deliver prosperity urged supporters not to be distracted by political noise ahead of 2027. Ondo State is targeting crime sponsors on a renewed drive to rid the state of crime. This and more after this timeout.
On the 11th of November, I went to the Nigerian High Commission to sort out my passport. I did my biometrics and everything. And guess what? 48 hours later, at 6 minutes past 11 on the 13th of November, I have one passport.
Tireless effort on renovation and rejigging the Ministry of Interior passports issuance lessen the very frustration of Nigerian homes and abroad on the time that has been taken. You've created a change in the dynamic and the game.
Powered by Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Chapter. GMT, in God we trust.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Oh, remember how mom used to wake up before everybody to make breakfast, iron our uniform, and surprise that woman with something special.
Reward your mom with a trip to Zanzibar in the 2025 Three Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Write a note using each letter in your mom's name and submit with any of these on our website or at any of our collection centers. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. 4 suspected kidnappers terrorizing the Elegbeka axis at the Owo-Ifon Benin Road have been apprehended by the Ondo State Amotekun Corps. The Amotekun commander Adetunji Adeleye, who led the parade of 28 suspects at the Corps headquarters in Akure for various criminal offenses, reaffirmed the agency's commitment to ensuring peace in Ondo State. Joy Pius reports.
Suspects identified as Kwangi, Kana, Sam and Daniel, aged between 18 and 27, allegedly responsible for a series of kidnappings in the Elegbeka axis, were arrested by the Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps. These suspected kidnappers were paraded alongside 24 other individuals facing charges including armed robbery, rape, cattle rustling, burglary and illegal possession of firearms. Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye emphasized that the agency has shifted its focus beyond apprehending field operatives to targeting the sponsors behind these crimes. He said some of the suspects were arrested in villages along the Owo-Ifon Benin Road.
The criminal world is evolving. Therefore, Ondo State Security Network Agency Amotekun always strive to be ahead of them. We have now gone beyond arresting criminals and suspects alone. As we talk now, we are now after their godfathers. Yes, We are now after their godfathers. We are now after their backbone. And the reason is simple. Until we uproot them, we won't have total peace.
Commander Adeleye credited recent successes to collaboration with other security agencies and intelligence provided by residents, which has helped secure forests across the state. He gave farmers the green light to return to their farms, promising a secure environment.
I want to thank the good people of Ondo State for their support, and I want to thank the mother agencies, the police, the civil defense, the DSS, who refused to be tired of our calling 24/7 to geolocate kidnappers, and we go there and we pick them. We also thank my sister agency, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, for their unflinching support.
As part of Amotekun's corporate social responsibility, the Corps rescued a 16-year-old girl found wandering in Ore after being drugged and assaulted. After 6 months of rehabilitation, she was reunited with her family. Adeleye urged citizens to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities promptly, noting that such actions could save lives and property. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, police detectives in Ondo State have rescued a 15-year-old girl from being forced into marriage with a 52-year-old man identified as Ashere Sunday in Idoani, Osrc local government area of the state. A community leader reportedly alerted security operatives about the planned marriage, prompting detectives to storm the venue and rescue the teenager, who was immediately taken to an hospital in Akure for medical examination and care. According to the police, the intended groom, popularly known as Santo, his 22-year-old son, Ashere Kende, and the girl's father, Ayola Sunday, who allegedly received money in exchange for his daughter, were arrested. During interrogation, Ashere confessed to arranging the marriage and admitted to offering financial inducement to the victim's father. The victim's father, however, blamed his decision on poverty. Ondo State Commissioner of Police Adebowale Lawal condemned the act, describing it as a clear case of child abuse and exploitation. He assured that the suspects are in custody and will be prosecuted to serve as a deterrent to others. The administration of President Bola Tinubu will create state police to effectively address the security challenges across the country. President Tinubu also directed the armed forces to deploy more advanced military hardware and surveillance gadgets in Katsina State to halt the recent spate of attacks on innocent citizens by bandits. Tinubu gave the hint when he received a delegation of eminent citizens of the state led by Governor Diko Rada at the State House, noting that the federal government will consider the operations of the state police and further equip recently deployed forest guards. Special advisor to the President in Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, in a statement, noted that Tinubu, who decried the politicization of proposed state police, said emergencies of security in some states will require the deployment of outfits that understand the terrain and the peculiar culture of the people and can easily network at the grassroots. In other news, the United States government has donated $32.5 million to the World Food Program, WFP, to support food and nutrition assistance for conflict-affected communities in Nigeria. In a statement by the press and media specialist at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, Aisha Gambari, the embassy said the funding will provide food assistance and nutrition support to internally displaced persons in the northeast and northwest regions. The support, according to the embassy, is targeted at saving lives and alleviating the suffering of vulnerable groups, particularly women and children. We take another break on the news at 7. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.
Welcome back. The federal government has declared Friday, September 5, 2025 as a public holiday to mark this year's Eid al-Maulud, the celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. In a statement by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjojo, the government congratulated Muslims across the country and in the diaspora on the occasion, urging them to emulate the Prophet's virtues of peace, love, humility, tolerance, and compassion. The statement also encouraged Nigerians of all faiths to use the celebration to pray for peace, security, and stability in the country, while supporting government's efforts to strengthen national unity and foster development. On a sad note, the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, in the 2024 election in Ondo State, Bamidele Akingboye, is dead. Akingboye, also known as Oba, reportedly passed on in the early hours of today at his Victoria Garden City residence in Lagos. His passing was confirmed in a statement by his personal assistant and media advisor, Oyeni Iwakun. The family said burial arrangements and further details will be communicated in due course. On the foreign scene, Sudan has called for aid after landslide kills more than 1,000 in Darfur. The Sudan Liberation Movement Army said the village of Tarasin was completely leveled to the ground as it appeals to the UN and international aid groups for help to recover the bodies. Peter Musa has details.
Footage shared by a local news outlet showed a flattened area between mountain ranges with a group of people searching the site. A rebel group which controlled central Defomara mountain said one village had been leveled to the ground and appealed for assistance to recover the bodies. A local emergency network which has been providing support to communities across Sudan during the war said its teams recovered the bodies of at least 9 people on Tuesday. Peter Musa, Osrc News.
President Donald Trump has announced that the United States military conducted a kinetic strike on a small boat he accused of smuggling drugs out of Venezuela for the Tren de Aragua gang. According to the president, the bombing took place early on Tuesday morning, and it marks a significant escalation in tensions with the government of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whom Trump has repeatedly accused without evidence of orchestrating transnational gang activity. Wura Olami Olanipekun completes the story.
The moment when U.S. military forces deployed to the South Caribbean to target Venezuelan drug smugglers hit their first boat, killing 11 people. President Trump was quick to talk about it.
Just over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And
later, he said on social media that the boat was in international waters. That's important. If it had been in Venezuelan territory, it would have marked an even further escalation with a South American country. As it is, U.S. warships and Marines have been deployed close to Venezuela's water since last month, and the U.S. has put a $15 million bounty on President Nicolas Maduro's head. It accused him of leading drug trafficking activities to the U.S. The day before the strike, Maduro said if attacked, the country would fight back.
Venezuela is a peaceful country, but we are a nation of warriors, and Venezuela will never give in to blackmail or threats of any kind, not at any point in our history.
He is pushing sign-up drives for a voluntary military against U.S. invasion, but experts say that's very unlikely.
But I don't think this isn't going to be an incursion. This is not going to be played out the way Maduro has been marketing it. It's going to be exactly the way it has played out today, which is a drug interdiction becomes a heated war event, a battle, and then it escalates.
Somewhere else that the U.S. is keen to get its military involved is here, in Mexico. But in this case, President Trump wants them to come in and help authorities in their fight against drug cartels. But Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is resisting that. She says it would be a violation of Mexico's sovereignty. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is currently on a flying visit to Mexico. That's sure to be part of what it talks about as the U.S. flexes its muscles again in parts of Latin America. Raulani Olanipeku, OSRC News.
With our report, we end the OSRC News at 7, but before we go, another look at the major stories. Residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, have cried for urgent intervention from the government as they struggle with poor road conditions and potholes causing vehicle damage and accidents on major routes. President Bola Tinubu has ruled out borrowing in funding the 2025 budget. He stated this while announcing that Nigeria has met its 2025 revenue generation target through the non-oil sector in August. We also told you that President Tinubu has hinted at creation of state police to address security challenges across Nigeria. He also directed the armed forces to deploy advanced military hardware in Katsina State to combat banditry and emphasized the need for localized security solutions. And lastly, from the foreign scene, Sudan has appealed for international aid after a devastating landslide in Darfur killed over 1,000 people. And that's the news. My name is Odunwayo Soya. Good evening.